everyone, Jeremy here. For today's port preview, we're going to be taking a look at Cape Town, South Africa. After undergoing renovations in recent years, the Cape Town Cruise Terminal is now arguably the most visitor-friendly of all African ports of call, with many amenities and services. Most times when cruise ships visit Cape Town, they'll often stay overnight to have the ability to have 2 days here. In reality though, even 2 weeks is not enough time to take in all that Cape Town has to offer. You've just got so many incredible places to visit in the city, different districts, museums, art complexes, and more. And then outside of the immediate city, you can take trips to wineries, to safari parks, to Robben Island, or Table Mountain. Honestly, there aren't really that many more ports in the world where there's more options of things to do. Now in this video, the goal is to provide a quick overview of what there is to see so that you can decide what you're most interested in doing with your time in Cape Town. Now let's first start with the port area. Cruise ships dock at the Cape Town Cruise Terminal near the Victoria and Alfred Waterfront District, around 1.3 miles or 2 kilometers from the heart of the city centre of Cape Town. After recent upgrades, the cruise terminal and its facilities really are top-notch. Once you enter the terminal building, you're greeted by local visitor information staff with maps to provide, local tour operators with various offerings, and information about the Cape Town hop-on hop-off bus service, which now comes right to the cruise port. In addition, you have public restrooms, access to Wi-Fi, and ATMs to obtain some local currency. If you're traveling on your own in Cape Town, on top of the hop-on hop-off buses, you have taxis right at the port, and if you have phone service, Uber is also accessible here too. Now that the basics are there, you now have a platform from which to head out and explore, so let's take a look at the options. Where do we even start? Well, as mentioned, there's so much to see in Cape Town and the surrounding areas, so what we'll first start with is the immediate city and then branch out from there. Firstly, as ships do arrive only a short stroll from the V&A waterfront, that's where we're going to start. Now this district has a rich history dating back to the 19th century when it was originally constructed as a harbour to accommodate ships transporting goods and supplies to and from the region. Over time, it evolved into a bustling commercial and industrial area before being redeveloped into the world-class mixed-use space that it is today. The repurposed buildings now house an array of shops, art galleries, cafes and restaurants, as well as crafts and food markets. The watershed and silo district really are the highlights in this area. There's also a number of tourist attractions here too, including the Cape Town Ferris wheel and the Two Oceans Aquarium. The ferries to Robben Island also leave from here, but more on that later. Now as far as downtown inner city sites, while there are many, if we were just to name a few, you could start with the colourful district of Bo-Kaap, where you can take a stroll through the narrow streets and visit the Bo-Kaap Museum to learn more about the area's history. Then there's the City Hall. The elegant Edwardian-style building is an iconic landmark in Cape Town. It houses the offices of the Mayor of Cape Town and is known for its impressive facade and a large balcony where Nelson Mandela delivered his first speech after his release from prison in 1990. For a green space, try Company's Garden. This historical garden is a green oasis in the heart of the city. It was originally established by the Dutch East India Company in the 1650s to grow fresh produce for passing ships. Today, it's a tranquil space filled with beautiful lawns, trees, and flower beds. Now for those looking for an inner city crafts market, my best bet would be Green Market Square. This lively open-air market located in the city centre is a great place to shop for African curios, souvenirs, clothing and artwork. The square itself is surrounded by colourful buildings, cafes and restaurants. Also, one place I'd highly recommend you consider visiting is the District 6 Museum. It's a powerful and poignant museum dedicated to preserving the memory and history of the District 6 neighbourhood, which was once a vibrant and culturally diverse community that fell victim to the forced removals during the apartheid era. District 6 Museum was established in 1994 as a symbol of remembrance and resilience. It is housed in a former church, which is fitting considering the role of religious institutions in providing sanctuary and support during the darkest days of apartheid. The museum is not just a static repository of artifacts, but a living space that encourages dialogue, healing, and understanding. The museum's exhibits include photographs, personal stories, audio recordings, and historical documents that paint a vivid picture of the neighborhood's history and the painful process of displacement. Now, these are just a handful of options. Remember, there are many more. I'll include a link below to our Cape Town port page for a more comprehensive listing. As we now branch out from the immediate downtown center of Cape Town, again, you're just presented with an array of options. For example, for wine lovers, you could head out of town to check out one of the many vineyards in the region. Highlights would include the scenic Stellenbosch wine route, or perhaps the Constantia wine region, which is maybe more appealing because it is the closest wine region to Cape Town. Here you'll find Groot Constantia, which is the oldest wine farm in South Africa. Now, if wildlife is more your thing, head either to Simonstown for penguin spotting along the beaches, or go inland on one of the safari tours to the Aquila Game Reserve. A 2-hour drive from Cape Town, here you can see Africa's Big Five: elephant, lion, buffalo, leopard, and rhino. Another highly regarded option here in Cape Town is to take the ferry over to Robben Island. The ferry terminal is only a short distance from the cruise port near the V&A waterfront. Robben Island has a long and varied history, but it is perhaps most known for being the place where Nelson Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years of imprisonment. Today, Robben Island is a museum and heritage site offering guided tours that provide a glimpse into its troubled past. These tours are often led by former political prisoners, providing a unique opportunity to hear first-hand accounts of life on the island during the apartheid era. However, one site dominates the backdrop of Cape Town like no other, and it is often on people's must-visit lists, and that is Table Mountain. The summit of Table Mountain offers panoramic views of Cape Town, the Atlantic Ocean, Robben Island, and the surrounding landscapes. On clear days, visitors can enjoy breathtaking vistas that stretch out for miles. Now, important to note though, you can't drive up Table Mountain. That being said, you do have a couple of other options. Firstly, you could take the Table Mountain Aerial Cableway. This is by far the most popular and convenient way to reach the summit. The cable car provides stunning panoramic views of Cape Town and the surrounding areas during the ascent. Now, the second, much less favorable option is to walk up. Table Mountain offers various hiking trails that allow you to reach the summit on foot. Now, hiking up the mountain is a rewarding experience, but it does require a good level of fitness and adequate preparation. Please note that if you do plan to hike up Table Mountain, it is essential to be well prepared, wear appropriate hiking gear, and check the weather conditions before setting out. Now, some of the hiking trails too can be steep and challenging, so it's best to choose a route that suits your fitness level and experience. And if you are limited on time too, maybe stick with the cable car because the hikes are quite long. So again, the first thing to note here is that this is just a small sample of all of the things to see and do in Cape Town. This is a quick port guide after all. At some point, we'll make a much more comprehensive video covering all bases of Cape Town. Now, as far as travel tips go, if you are planning on going to visit Robben Island on your own, you can reserve ferry tickets in advance. This would be a good idea if you are going in peak season. Also, if you want to visit the Aquila Game Reserve, plan in advance as it is 2 hours each way. If you can't get on your cruise line's organized tour due to it being fully booked, check out platforms like Viator, for example. That's how I went when our ship's tour was sold out. And again, I think the hop-on hop-off bus here in Cape Town is a very good deal too. It has multiple routes that cover almost all of the in-town and outlying areas, including a canal cruise in town, a sunset bus to Signal Hill for views, a trip to Simonstown for the penguins, and a wine country route to Constantia. Now, best of all, the price is very cheap compared to hop-on hop-off buses in other cities. The classic base ticket the last time I was there was 275 Rand, which is about $15 equivalent. Also, many cruises either start or end in Cape Town. So if you have the option of spending more time in the city pre or post cruise, do it. Don't hesitate, give yourself an extra few days in Cape Town, you won't regret it. As I said earlier, you could easily fill 2 weeks in the greater region of the city. Take advantage of it if you can. So hopefully that gets you off to a good start with your planning for your Cape Town adventures. Again, there's just 1,000,001 places to see, so focus on what is really of most interest to you and see those places well, rather than trying to do too much. Now, if you need more information, feel free to check out the Cape Town port page over on the Doc Discoveries website, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Enjoy the amazing city of Cape Town, and we'll see you soon.